We're going to talk about how you can start your own at-home laundry business with less than $100. I'm going to show you how you can make $2,000 a month by only working weekends. Okay, I'm going to tell you the requirements. I'm going to show you the paid way, meaning you might have to spend, like I said, less than $100, and I'm also going to show you the free way that you can get started, and it's actually really simple. Okay, and then I'm also going to give you a bonus hack for you people that actually stay towards the end of the video. But like I said, by the end of the video, you'll learn how you can start a at-home laundry business with less than $100. Okay, so the requirements that you need to pretty much get started is you need a phone or a computer, right? You have to be able to communicate with people. You need some type of internet access, right? You need a washer and dryer. This is where you're going to be doing the laundry, okay? You need a washer and dryer at your house because it's going to be called home laundry for a reason. If you have a washer and dryer, that's pretty much the most important part. You need a car for pickup and delivery, meaning when people, we kind of get into it, but when people schedule a pickup, when somebody says, hey, come pick up my laundry, when somebody says, hey, I can't drop it off to you, is there any way I can pay you extra to come get it? You pretty much need a car to be able to pick up and deliver the laundry to that person. And then you need a payment system. Square is pretty much free to sign up, and they send you a Square router for $10, but you can actually do everything through your phone. But these are the 4 things you need. You need a phone or a computer, you need a washer and dryer, you need a car for pickup and delivery, and then you need a payment system. Okay, so pretty much once you have all these things, right, this is pretty much the step-by-step process. Okay, the paid way, like I said, you're going to be spending a little bit of money, but the money that you're spending is for mostly things like creating a website or running some ads, but pretty much everything else is almost free. Everything else is pretty much free. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to come up with a business name, right? You're going to come up with some type of blah 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 laundry, quick laundry, laundry to you, whatever it is. You're going to come up with a name. Then you're going to come up with some type of logo, right? You need something that people can, see, whether your logo is your name, whether your logo is something that you want to create yourself. You can do both of these things on Canva for free. Okay, so you come up with a name. Like I said, it can be called Doodoo Laundry for all you care, and then you create a logo for your laundry brand, and boom, right now you have a name and logo. Then this is pretty much one of the most important parts. Is what you're going to do is you're going to create a booking page. A booking page is pretty much a place where people can go and book or schedule the laundry pickup or delivery. So it's one of those things where if I go to say laundry, if I go say laundry pickup and delivery, right? These people are gonna have a booking page that allows me to schedule a pickup. So pretty much this is called a booking page. You click this and it asks you for your information. You put the information in here, and next thing you know, I can schedule the laundry pickup. And so the reason why that's so important is because might cost you some money. There are some booking tools out there that are pretty cheap and not that expensive, and there's some out there where you can pay somebody to go and create the whole booking page for you. But once you have a page where people can go and book your service, meaning they say, hey, I want you to come pick up my clothes at this day and this time, you pretty much have one of the main things that you need. Okay, so boom, now you have a website / booking page, you have a logo and a name. You're officially a business now. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is run a Google or Instagram ad. So once you have your website, you can create a Google AdSense account and run ads. You can promote your website on Google. You pay $5, $10, $20, $100, however much you want to put up. I recommend maybe like $25, right, to get started. You put $25 up, and what it's going to do is going to put you up there. It's going to let people see you. You're going to get your first couple of clicks. You're going to see what people are saying. You're going to get your first couple of customers because you're going to start to get people coming to your website. Okay, so once you start to run the Google ads, you'll start to see that people are going to come to your website. You're going to start to see that people are going to start to book on your platform. And so one of the things that you can do if you don't want to spend money on ads, you can create flyers or pass them out. So you can go to your you can create on Canva, right? On Canva, you can create flyers too. Canva is pretty much what I'm using to pretty much make this video. And you can look up canva.com, right? So pretty much you can make a flyer on Canva, and then go and print that flyer out at your local like Office Depot, library, wherever you want to go, right? You print those flyers out, then you go and take them to salons and thrift stores and places like that, right? And so pretty much what you're saying is, hey, I have a laundry service. You say the next time you have somebody that needs laundry, send them to me. I will do the laundry, and I will even give you a discount. I'll give you a referral. I'll give you some type of promotion. But you pretty much create a flyer. You can make it 50% off, 10% off, free pickup and delivery, whatever you want to do. You create a flyer, and then like I said, you go and you pass it on to salons and thrift stores and places like that. Okay, and so pretty much once people start to book, when you run the Google ad and people start to book, or you create a flyer, pass it out, people start to book. You pretty much then just go and pick up the people's laundry. You wash it, you dry it, you fold it, and then just return it to them. It's as simple as that. Somebody says, I need my laundry done. You go pick up their laundry, you bring it back to your house to wash it, you dry it, you fold it, and then you just take it back to them when it's done. And it's as simple as that. And so once you take it back to that person, you can ask for what they call a referral. It's pretty much just says, hey, let us know what you think on my website, on Yelp, on Google reviews, whatever. But also refer people to me, right? You say the next person you bring to me, I will give you a free wash. The next person you bring to me, I'll give you 50% off. The next person you bring to me, you get a 10% discount. Whatever it is, you can pretty much have a referral program where people will go and get the next person for you. They will go and get the next customer for you. Okay, so let's do some math. Say you get 15 people to do the service. Like I said, you run a flyer, you run a Google ad, or you create a flyer, you pass it out. Say 15 people sign up. 15 people say, hey, I want my laundry done. 15 people a week. We're gonna keep it realistic. That's 3 people for 5 days. That's 3 people every day for 5 days, right? That's 15 people. If you have 15 people paying you, say, $30 on average each order, because each order, most of the time, you're gonna have to have order minimum, whether it's 15 pound minimum, whatever it is, and depending on how much you charge, you pretty much are gonna say the average is $30, right? So you have 15 people paying you $30 each, right? That's $450 a week off of those 15 people. And say those 15 people, either this week you could be the same 15 people, and the next week you could be different 15 people, or you could have people that they book with you weekly. So then you're making $450 off of the 15 people that you have. Like I said, that's 3 people for 5 days. Okay, you can have Fridays, and you can have Saturday, Sundays off, and still make $450 a week. So you might be thinking, okay, $450 a week. $450 a week times 4 weeks is $1,800 a month. Imagine making an extra $2,000 a month simply by doing people's laundry. It's as simple as that. Imagine making an extra $2,000 a month by simply doing people's laundry. It's as simple as that, okay? This is pretty much the paid way to do it. Like I said, if you run a Google ad, it might cost you $25. If you create a booking thing, it might cost you another $30. Let's go $40 for the hosting and everything like that, right? So $65, you pretty much, you pretty much set everything up, and then say for another, we'll go another $35. You pretty much print the flyers. That's $100 right there, right? That's $100 right there that you pretty much don't have to worry about. That's $100 right there that you pretty much invest into the company, and your company's set up. Now you have Google ads running for you. You have flyers in salons. You have people scheduling pickups and deliveries. You're going and dropping off the orders and stuff like that, okay? So boom, this is the paid way to do it. Like I said, you spend $100 and your company's up and running, okay? The free way to do it, okay? Well, the one thing that you can do pretty much is when all you're essentially doing is you're just telling people that you can do the laundry for them. And at the end of the day, sometimes you don't even really need a website. You don't really need, logo. You don't really need all the extra stuff. You don't even need a booking page. You don't need flyers. You don't really need all this stuff, right? You can have somebody, you can go and tell your friends and family that you just do the laundry service. You say, hey, it's $1 per pound if I pick up. And it's $1.50 per pound it's $1 per pound if you drop off to my house, or it's $1.50 per pound if I pick up. Meaning you just go to them and say, hey, if you drop off your clothes at my house, I weigh it out, whatever the weight is, you multiply it times $1, that's what I'm going to charge you. So if it's 15 pounds, I'll charge you $15. If it's 30 pounds, I'll charge you $30. And that's pretty much it, right? If I have to come and pick it up from you, it might cost me some gas money. I'm gonna charge you $150. So like I said, if it's 10 pounds, I charge you $150. It's $15. It's one of those things. If it's 20 pounds, I charge you $150, and I think it's like $30. But it's one of those things where, at the end of the day, you can make money from just simply telling your friends and family that you're willing to do their laundry. And as long as they're willing to pay you, because they're going to have to, even if they go to a laundromat, they're going to have to pay the washer dryer there. And they're going to not only spend a lot of time, but if the person has kids and if the person is spending a lot of time doing laundry, you can save them the trouble. And you can have a designated day where every Saturday, every Sunday, because the main thing about this is only on weekends. I'm about to get into the math, but only on weekends, even if you did this, you can make a killing, because it's kind of like this. Like I said, you tell your person, hey, if you drop it off to me, it's $1. It's a little cheaper, but if I have to pick it up, it's $1.50, right? They say no problem. They go and you have people that are booking with you. You have people that are booking with you, right? No problem. That person that's booking with you, they're gonna go and tell their friends and family. So it's pretty much word of mouth. So you have a friend that you met in high school, college, whatever. The person you met down the street, the person at the gas station, whatever. You tell them about your service. They go and tell somebody else about the service, and that person tells somebody else about the service, and that person tells somebody else about the service. Next thing you know, there's a whole bunch of people that know about your service that are getting ready to book with you, right? So boom, you have a bunch of people that are spreading the word on your service and giving you more and more customers. Okay, and like I said, whether you pick it up or you drop it off, it's up to you. Now you're gonna have a designated day. Like I said, every Saturday and Sunday, you're gonna come pick up the clothes, and then that's pretty much it. You tell the person, hey Jimmy, I'm gonna come at 2. Hey Susie, I'm gonna come at 3. Hey blah blah blah, I'm gonna come at 4. And then like I said, some of those people, you can even tell them to drop it off to you to save yourself some trouble, right? But let's do the math. Say you have 5 people. I'm talking about within Saturday and Sunday only. Say you have 5 people, right? You pretty much have 5 people paying you $35. I guess the average is between 30 and 40. So say you have 5 people paying you $35. That's $175 a day that you can make from that thing. So say on Saturday you go and pick up 5 people's laundry, they pay you $35, and you make $175. Say the next day you have another 5 people order the laundry, you go pick it up, you wash, dry, fold it, and then you take it back to them, and that's another $175. You can make in just 2 days $350, right? And say at the end of the day, I'd say at the end of the day, you spend $50 on detergent, soap, all that. Because the one thing is, most of the time, people will pay for themselves, right? People are gonna pay for everything themselves. So say you spend, $50 on detergent, right? Say you spend $50 on detergent, no problem, right? Even if you spend $50 on detergent both days, $25 one day, then $25 the next day, that's no problem. Because at the end of the day, you spend $100 a month on detergent. But the thing is, if you have 5 people paying you $35 every day for 2 days, right? And then you're making $350 a week. $350 a week times 4 weeks is $1,440, meaning you can make for an extra $1,400 a month off of just 5 people. 5 people can make you an extra almost $1,500 a month. This can cover your rent. Imagine just by you doing some simple people's laundry, you can pay for your rent, right? You just subtract $100 for detergent, and you're pretty much done. If you want to subtract another $100 for gas, but pretty much you can make $1,200. If you $1,200 a month. Easy. This is literally people's rent. You can go and get a nice condo for $1,200. You can go pay your bills for $1,200. You can buy groceries. You can invest in stock. You can multiply your money. You can save it for 10 months and then go buy a car. It's one of those things where you make an extra $1,200 a month simply by doing people's laundry. And like I said, this is all the free way. You have a washer and dryer already in your house. You have a phone. You have everything that you need. You have a car. You have everything. All you have to do is tell your friends and family that you run a laundry business, and then just to get them to pay you. They're going to have to pay the laundromat anyways. You just tell them, I'm going to save you time, effort, and stress. And then I'm going to make sure your clothes are even folded so you don't have to, fold it yourself. Okay? And so for the people that are watching this video still, I appreciate you. But I'm going to give you the bonus hack, okay? The bonus hack, this is pretty much what I do, okay? This is how I make my money, okay? And it goes a little something like this. There are laundromats that provide this type of service, right? But you can provide the service to people directly, right? So what I would do is I would charge the customer $1 more than whatever the neighborhood is charging. So I would find a local wash and fold that say charges $150 a pound, right? So say somebody charges, I'm gonna put $150 a pound, right? Per pound. I would add $1 to the total and charge the person $2.50 a pound, and get them to get the laundromat to do all the work. So it goes a little bit like this. When you see me, I tell you, hey, I can do your laundry for you for $2.50 a pound. You say, hey, no problem. You give me your laundry. I take your laundry and I go to this guy. I say, hey, you told me you can do a laundry for $1.50 a pound. Here is my laundry, right? So boom, they do the laundry, they wash it, they dry it, they fold it, they do all the work for you, right? All you have to do is come back, pick up the laundry. I take it back to this person and say, hey, I did your laundry. I'm charging you $2.50 per pound. You making an extra $1 off of whatever it is. So say if the weight is $30, if the weight is 30 pounds, you're making $30. The weight is 15 pounds, you're making $15. The weight is whatever it is, 50 pounds, you're making $50. No matter what the weight is, you're making $1 off of it. So no matter what the weight is, you're making $1 off of it. Minimum, you're making $15 minimum, right? So like I said, you just take it to the cheapest laundromat. They do the work. You charge the customer $1 more than the laundromat does. Because so the laundromat charges you $150, I charge the customer $2.50. And pretty much I just do the difference. So like I charge you $250, you give me your codes, I check it to this guy, actually he charges me $150, does the work, and I come back, it's like that. Easy, it's all algebra. And you make the difference. It's literally that simple. You find a laundromat, the cheapest one. Because imagine if you could find a laundromat that charges $1. You can even do it to where you charge $150 extra. So then now, for every pound, you're making $1.50 off of every pound, and they're doing all the work. And like I said, that $1.50 can cover gas. You can even pay somebody 50 cents to go be the driver. And it's one of those things where it's so much potential. There is so much potential. And like I said, if you guys want me to make more videos, if you want me to go into it in more detail and show you how to do it step by step, leave me a comment, subscribe to this channel. But like I said, that's all I have for today's video. And